Hey everybody, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome a few members of Fornoth to the show. I've got Daire, I've got Charlie and John. How are you lads?
Good, can't complain.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. If you're wondering about John's choice of clothing, you might fill us in, John, on where you are.
I'm on holidays in Italy and it's far too hot for proper clothes.
Fair play, man, fair play. And Daire and Charlie, whereabouts are you based in Dublin or?
Yeah, we're both in Ireland right now.
Well, yeah. Do you live in Dublin maybe?
Yeah. Both I and Charlie are in Dublin right now. Separate houses, unfortunately.
And like, I know, are you going to change the label of the saying that you're bog metal? Because I know there's plenty of people outside of Dublin would question that, you know.
We're gonna. I think the music suits the way we describe it. So
yeah, Charlie's down in Carlo half the time anyway. So
I think we've another member. Is
Lachlan.
Lachlan, is he joining us?
yes,
I don't know.
Anyway,
He's meant to.
Okay, I didn't know that. We'll try and see if we can get him in. Nice bit of editing there for me already, lads. Thanks. Any sign of him? Lachlan, can you hear us?
Oh, there he is.
There he is. You're in the car, Lachlan, are you?
Yeah, at work, so I decided to come out, get a bit of peace and quiet.
Ah, class. Jeez, and thanks for joining us anyway. I'm really honoured now. That's the full lot of you.
that's it.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So you were, I suppose, a 5-piece initially. You might talk to us about... Yeah, because the only time I saw you actually was with these lads, following the signs. Big shout out to Noel and the lads.
Down Cork in the was it the Spalpeen Fornoth we were in?
Spalpeen Fornoth, yeah.
Yeah, with Risen Dread and
Risen Dread. Yeah, that was a great gig. I think it was the Following the Signs album launch, I'm nearly sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think it was an EP. Yeah. That was True Home's first ever show, which is Charlie's band as well.
Oh yeah, that's right, Charlie. Jeez, I forgot that. So you were doing double duties that night?
Pretty much, yeah. I was also having to carry John's parts on my back because John wasn't there, so I had to do all the guitar duties. So that was, I definitely didn't have a fun time with that gig.
And have you been down since?
No, unfortunately not.
Of course, yeah, with COVID and stuff like that. Yeah. So John, you missed the opportunity coming down here, man.
Yeah, I know. It was a shit one, but well, hopefully we'll be down soon enough. I think we're kind of in contact with Tombs, and we're trying to organise a couple of gigs in Dublin and in Limerick.
Bit of slippery metal.
Yeah, slippery metal.
Yeah, bogs are slippery, so I figured it would.
And I suppose, was that the earliest of your band Fornoth starting off? Had you many gigs before that? Can you remember back?
So we started in August 2018, I think, was the first gig we had, or September.
September. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that Cork gig then was that 2018 as well?
That would have been 2019 at some point.
Yeah, I think it was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the most gigs in 2019, I think.
Yeah.
Had you really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course COVID hit and screwed up everything. Your recordings up to that point, did it affect you much in relation to what you had planned music-wise, more so when the lockdown happened, we'll say? Because I know you had what was it? You'd of Mist and Murk, which is 2019. Would you stand over that EP now?
No.
No, okay.
Not at all. No,
different band.
It came out.
It came out, yeah.
Yeah, we actually just removed it off Spotify and all that this week.
Wow.
Yeah, we decided once we released Ferryman that we'd get rid of Mist and Murk. So
Okay.
that we did.
I think there was there 3 live tracks in that and 3 originals?
Yeah. Well, they were all originals.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in relation to those songs, are they wiped from your set list as well?
No, we still play some of those songs. We play Puka still. We play that at Buzztalk, and we haven't played any of the other ones though in a while. But Descendant, one of the live songs, is actually on from across the moors as well. So like we haven't totally, just about it. It's just the recording quality was really bad, and it was done in like an overnight session with my friend who was like a producer at the time, or like in college.
Okay.
So just as new to like all the board and the desk and everything as we were to like recording in a studio. So it was all just a big mess.
And this is Declan, the bassist from True Home.
Yeah.
Is who did it. So
Name and shame. I'm sure he's gone on to greater things since, lads.
He really has. He makes
no, Declan makes great music. Like still as a solo artist, it's
I think he released like 12 albums last year.
yeah,
Under
incredibly prolific.
under what name? Under his own, or?
Here, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Really good.
So I just want to take you up then to your split release then with Horrenda. Shout out to the lads in Horrenda. Craw. Approaching that, had you much experience in the studio? Again,
We actually did that in-house, just in our practice room, and we recorded it all ourselves, and ourselves, our old bass player Ned did that.
Yeah, Ned had some experience with like producing and recording, and we just bought some like drum mics off Amazon and just said we're just going to do this ourselves because we can't really justify going to a studio to do it. So we just said we'd do it ourselves, and it turned out pretty well, I think.
Yeah. And
I like how the vocals were treated on that one.
okay, and who proposed the idea? Was it the lads from Horrenda, or did you approach them?
No, it was Daire from Horrenda, of course.
Okay.
The initiative taker.
I think he put up a post on Facebook like, we're bored. Does anybody want to do a split release? And we were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we just happened to have this kind of like weird black metal sounding song, so we figured we'd hang out with Horrenda a bit in the release space.
Yeah. And I mean, it got a lot of exposure, to be fair, and I think it benefited both of your bands.
Yeah, it's always good to do a split. We'd like to do one again maybe sometime.
Yeah, cool. So then you more or less got your heads down then and started writing during lockdown. Would that be correct?
We tried. We had a few songs kind of written and ready to go before lockdown hit, but we just never got round to really getting them going. So over lockdown, I tried to write a bunch of music, but it just didn't come out good. So it was a painful experience, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we were being very good boys during the lockdown, and we didn't really meet up ever. So what we did manage to do was Whispers Among the Trees, that acoustic thing we did.
Which is amazing. I absolutely
we
love
recorded
that.
it outside, and yeah, me too.
What was the inspiration behind it? Is it just, I know obviously listening to it because it's completely acoustic, I think it will stand to you really well in the future. It just shows how diverse you are as a band, and the songwriting as well. I know there's not much singing in it there, but you certainly did a lot of nice work with poetry through it.
Yeah.
You might just maybe talk about, first of all, the poetry aspect.
The poems were written after it was recorded, because they're not actually in the music.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I figured, there was a section for lyrics on Bandcamp, so when we were releasing it, I just decided to knock them out that day. That was it.
Yeah,
there was no real story or anything when you were recording it or anything. It was just kind of
like the whole thing came because it was lockdown, so we didn't have anything to do. We couldn't go to the practice room and play really loud and make new music. But me and John, we had both acoustic music, and we play acoustic guitar all the time, and we had all these little ditties written. So we just decided, why don't we just make an acoustic album? That would be really cool.
Yeah.
And so okay, I have this many pieces. John, you have these pieces. Daire, you have a Zoom recorder. Let's just go outside with the birds and the trees, put some acoustic music, maybe put a live or a trad track in there. And that's pretty much exactly how it went.
Yeah, I just saw you there with the microphone there. Field recordings, isn't it? Did you record the fire and stuff as well, or was that added?
Yeah.
that was awful. John insisted that the bird sounds and the fire be recorded at the same time as the guitar. And I was like, why don't we do that separately? And he was like, nope, has to be authentic.
Yeah.
Well done, John, for driving that.
Next time we won't be doing that. It's all like one for every song. So annoying.
Well, I mean, you live and learn, as they say. That song in particular, Tippler's Dance, where was that recorded?
That was
actually the only... Sorry,
yeah. Oh, sorry. No, we recorded that then. Myself and Charlie's family have a spot down there, and we went there with the band for a bit of a session to record this song. So we just did it in the living room, and it was good fun.
Yeah, good.
Also one take live recording.
Yeah,
brilliant. Because I was talking to another band, Organ Blender. They're good friends of yours, I'd imagine, and I found out as well they're kind of into the trad side of things as well. So
yeah, first I heard of it. I know Cole does a lot of classical guitar, and the first I heard of it was on this podcast. They're talking about the trad.
Yeah, and I just stumbled upon it by accident because there's no hint of it really with him. But the fact that they're from Galway, I just said threw it out there, and like there's potential there for the two of you to end up in some flat Kyo lads in the future. Do a super band.
We get a bit of Shanos, a bit of.
And Lachlan, did you know the lads at that stage?
I did not. No, not at all.
We met Lachlan in January this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the same school as Oscar actually, but that wasn't how we met.
Yeah.
Okay, you might fill us in then. How did the whole meeting take place? And
right.
Lachlan, maybe your side of things. Are you drummers are rare as hen's teeth now at this stage, especially metal drummers?
Well, I was initially just playing some metalcore with my friends, and then Rebador. And Daire came along with one of his friends, and he was sitting on the couch, and he just mentioned something to me. He was like, "Oh, I'm looking for someone," blah, blah, blah. And then didn't hear anything for ages, and then messaged me asking if I wanted to come see their show. And then I came and saw it, and I was just standing there like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! I can't have to do it. It's so good." And then I met everyone that day, and we were like, "Oh, well, we'll sort something out." And then eventually we just got to a space, like a rehearsal space, and we just played a little bit. But they were all really nice and very welcoming at the time. So,
how old are you?
I just went 21.
So he's by far the youngest of you.
Yeah.
Not by far. I'm only 22.
What?
Yeah,
are you serious? Jesus, I thought you were a bit older.
I'm 24.
24. Okay. Seems like you've been around for ages, lads. In fairness.
We've been in a band for like 4 years, but like 2 of those years were null.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that,
Charlie
John?
only just turned 18 when we were starting our shows, I think. So
yeah, we got in here, started young.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just go about Whispers Among the Trees. That was acoustic, and at the same time were you writing tracks as well with the idea of releasing it as an EP with From Across the Moors? Were those songs kind of being wrote side by side?
No, we kind of just had songs playing live for a while, and we were like, we need to record something. We need to get out there, and we just picked which ones we wanted to record from our live set.
We
do one.
Doulahan was a new one at the time.
Yeah, I think we got Doulahan just after COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've always had this kind of we've been evolving our sound, but we're always like 1 or 2 stages of songwriting behind ourselves on recording. So Ferryman is the first time we've had a song that we're not bored of or sick of that we've recorded. So that's fun.
And what I like about you as well is the way you kind of seem to be moving onwards from each EP and release, that you're, definitely making a concerted effort to change subtle parts and maybe go a bit more Yeah, I think you're a band that can have your feet on both sides, if you know what I mean. You can do the death metal, maybe black metal, and the acoustic marries nicely with it as well.
Yeah, we've been listening to a lot of Agalloch, I think most of us, for the
Ah,
last
great
couple of years.
band.
So that's yeah, I think there's a lot of influence there.
Right, and go on. What other bands?
Well, we kind of just go mad on a band for a little bit individually, and then get onto a new band and don't listen to them so much anymore. But it's yeah, we like Gojira a lot. Wolfheart are another fantastic band. And then recently, myself and Charlie in the last year have just gotten really into kind of going on YouTube and finding really underground black metal bands that are really, really good.
Yeah, and you know, again, that's the joy of Spotify as well, that you can literally scroll down and it'll suggest other bands, see, and go down many other rabbit holes.
Yeah, that black metal rabbit hole is a deep one. It seems to never
never ends.
Yeah, and when you're releasing material, like, what's your views on Spotify, lads?
Well, we got to use it. Like, we want people to hear the music, so not everyone has a Bandcamp. And I mean, I've been hearing a lot of our music on Spotify.
Yeah.
But I think that's because I initially started listening to it. But you know, those like metal mixes and stuff like that. I keep getting Vanquish Dream to Yesteryear, which is the last song on Whispers on my Spotify. Like every mix I put on, it's in there somewhere. So I wish other people got showed our music as much as I get showed that one song. But we actually got a message on Facebook there, or was it Instagram, from this guy.
It was an email.
Was an email from Mohammed?
Yeah,
this guy, I don't know where he's from, but he primarily speaks Arabic, and he said that his favorite song was Vanquish Dreams of Yesteryear, and he asked us for the tab, and I thought that was really cute.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and again, that could have been
reach.
just that could have been just another suggestion to what he was listening to. It would be interesting to hear what kind of stuff he listened to that G popped up then.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that people can just find stuff like that organically.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we go on now to Bloodstock. He got involved in Metal to the Masses. What was the thinking behind it? A lot of bands don't seem to take up the opportunity to get involved in Metal to the Masses.
This is actually funny.
Go on, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So we did it in 2019 or 19, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of, we just wanted to have shows. It's a really good opportunity to get full Fibbers shows. So we did that to kind of hone our live show the first time, and then we decided we weren't going to do it this year. But Oren contacted us directly saying, listen guys, I know that you guys are class. We need someone to fill the space here. So we went, sure, why not? A gig's a gig,
Yeah.
And then we ended up winning it, so.
And what was the whole trip through quarters, semi-finals, and eventually the final? What was it like for you as a band? Would you recommend it for other younger bands to go down that route?
Absolutely. I think it benefits. Did you say John? You can answer.
Yeah.
We both said absolutely at the same time.
Yeah. It's like I was saying, for the first time we did it, it's a really good chance for lots of people to hear your music. And you get your name posted on hundreds of views posts on Facebook and whatnot, and it's a good opportunity to sort of make yourself rehearse as well.
Yeah.
So you can kind of figure out how you want yourselves to sound live, and you have this like very non-judgmental, very supportive crowd. I think it's fantastic, like a very good idea.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad that Bloodstock and especially Oren are doing it, putting it on.
And was there any performances in particular when you finished you were kind of going, shit, we could have done better with that, or did you just nail it every time?
Every single one. Yeah. We're all very, very cynical of ourselves. We're such pessimists. Every single one.
Well, usually after every show, I go over to John and I'm like, "That was amazing," and John says, and I quote, "Oh, Charlie, that's how I've ever played."
Oh, you wouldn't believe how terribly I played today.
Wow.
We like to make fun of John's fatalism.
You need one of them in the band, isn't that right, John?
Yep, you can't be a black metal band if you don't hate yourself.
You're never going to get better if you tell yourself that was good when it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I like that thought. So, Bloodstock, you've never been there before. Did you have to do much research into it in relation to getting material, your equipment across, and how did you plan it? Maybe just talk us through that, because again, there could be bands listening here that might get the benefit of your wisdom after one successful appearance in Bloodstock.
I will say it was quite expensive to get there.
Okay.
You know, like they pay for your ticket in, but they don't pay for like the ferry across, which we needed to do.
Right.
Lachlan got the plane over, and it was like €20 or less there and back.
Well done, Lachlan.
And we had like a 200 and something euro ferry ticket.
It was six.
200 each.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the thing about being a band in Ireland, though. If you want to like go to another country, like you have to spend so much money just leaving Ireland.
Yeah.
More money like leaving Ireland than you would like traveling around Europe itself. Like if you're going to like France or Germany or something, you'd like spend whatever it costs on petrol, but it's the ferry that is like the most expensive thing, and it is really expensive. Which is annoying.
And who was driving?
Me and John, we drove John's car. It's like a Jeep, so we would like fit all of our equipment in it, like amps and guitars and
sun cream,
everything.
Sun cream. And so, okay, you arrived there.
It was weird. We were driving around the road that that Bloodstock was on for ages, trying to find like the artist like check in essentially to get like our bands and stuff.
What day was this, Charlie?
It was like when we got there, the Friday.
The Friday, okay.
The Thursday.
To go.
Oh, was it Thursday?
It was the Thursday. We played on Friday.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we just spent ages driving around trying to find the place, and we found it, and we got out of the car, and I'd like never felt such an intense sun before. It was so hot, just standing with you.
I think 30 degrees. Yeah.
It was vibrate. Like
yeah.
I'm burnt. I might feel burnt. My neck is burnt. Yeah.
And Lachlan, when did you arrive? Were you there before the lads arrived?
No, I got there Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked up Lachlan from Birmingham Airport. Me and Daire went there to get him on Friday morning. Very, very weary after a long night of bin jousting and shenanigans.
Yeah, I think I went to bed at 3 and woke up at 5. It was terrible.
Oh, fucking hell.
2 or 3.
Yeah, because the thing is we were going to go to the artist camp, but then sure we were talking to Tombs on the way up, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna camp in the regular camp, the Midgard. And we also had friends from, Unmaker, the upcoming thrash band, and Declan was there too, and they were all, in the normal camp. So we just decided, you know what, why not? So we went to Midgard, and that was an awful idea from the sleep side of things, but it was very fun.
But Daire, your first mistake there was agreeing to go with Tombs.
Yeah, no, we learned that.
That was your first mistake.
They're wild ones. They
sure are. Fact. And were you around for their performance on the Sunday?
It was actually fantastic. Yeah, their new songs that they've got coming out are like, I wasn't really that impressed with them during Bloodstock. During the Metals of the Masses shows. It kind of just fell flat on me. I didn't really vibe with it. But their performance on the, what's it called, the Jägermeister stage was like, that was they played the heaviest riff I'd heard the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Like I heard Catholic Decapitation play. I heard fucking like it was the best song.
What one was that? Was it a new one?
It's something beyond the standard model.
It's beyond the standard measure or something.
It's definitely beyond the standard model, but I forget the first word.
Okay.
But it's very good. Yeah. They got a fan in me.
So we'll just go back now to the performance on the day for yourselves. Were you nervous? Any of you particularly?
Not nervous. I never really get nervous, but I was
Okay.
I felt something weird. I think
Yeah, felt nervous.
I am extremely hot right now because it's like 37 degrees in this big tent. And like we're wearing like shorts or whatever. Me and John are in our shorts, and John's like, "You need to put on your jeans." And I'm like, "Oh, John, it's gonna be so bad." We come in like all black, big jeans, big boots on, and I get on stage, and I'm like, "Oh no, I forgot my water." It was like my main concern throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, sourcing water was very difficult. Even though there was a tap, there was always a queue, like 18 people long at the tap. Of course, I didn't have that problem with the clothes because I was wearing a beanie and beanie and jeans every day. I don't feel heat. I just don't. So I.
What time slot did you come on at?
Oh, was it 6 or 4? It was 4 p.m.
Oh no, it was 3:45.
Yeah.
That's a good time slot, lads.
It was good.
We got absolutely shafted on our time slot because the mystery band, which was Machine Head, were playing just before us, and we were like, "Oh, great! No, that's fine because that means everybody's gonna put over from the main stage into us." But no, when we were playing, Gore was on.
What? People were interested in Gore?
Well, if you have a chance between seeing Guar, who like shoot blood at you, or like some band you've never heard of on the New Blood stage, I think most people would say Guar. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. You'd go to the New Blood stage if no one else was playing, but if you've got a band that you've heard of, which everyone's heard of Guar, it's I don't think that like we were very lucky. Steve Dempsey managed to pop over for about 10 minutes to take pictures of us between Machine Head and Guar because
Yeah, Steve's
a lot of
brilliant.
coverage,
Yeah, I mean, you'd
guy.
always benefit from Steve's photos without a doubt, you know.
Steve's a good guy. We like
Great
him a lot.
guy. Yeah. Just want to check there in relation to the songs you picked for that set. Was there much discussion, or was it straightforward enough?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we had Lachlan new, so we kind of had to we had to go with whatever he had learned so far. You know, it's kind of.
We went up. We played our intro song, which is just like one riff that like we thought was that we've had for like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, it's just one riff, and really heavy and whatever. But like we never were able to turn it into a song. It was just too good by itself. So we're like, let's just put it into our intro or something. And then we just like do a few songs that people know, and we did like the 2 new singles that are coming out. Well, Ferryman is out now.
Yeah.
And like Puka, which is a really old one because we like playing it and people like hearing it. There wasn't that much like discussion. Like we kind of just like we weren't gonna do our.
We know our best songs.
We're gonna like go from a final and then just like come to Bloodstock and do a completely different set. You know, there'd be no point in that.
Yeah. But again, like a lot of, we'll say, particularly Irish bands that are involved, we'll say, in more or less writing stoner music, the likes of Grey Stag and a few others, like they have probably one song that's like 9 or 10 minutes long. You know, and it like ultimately they're looking at their time slot of 30 minutes and they could only maybe get 2 or 3 songs in, you know. So how many did you actually play?
I think we were on 6 or 7.
Yeah. We were 7.
Yeah, we don't really write stoner music at all.
Well, I know, yeah,
It's
but
all
I'm just saying
happy-dumpy.
that's just it's just as well that you weren't, because that's my point. You'd only get 2 or 3 songs in and you're finished.
We actually wasted a lot of it with that first song is about 2 minutes long. And it's just dun 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 dun, and that's it.
That song's more. That's very much for me, anyways. That's an
atmosphere song. Yeah.
Oh no! And then we play that song, and once the guitars kick in, it's like, okay, I'm going to kill somebody now. It's just really.
The song is just about setting the atmosphere for the next 30 minutes. That's all it's there for. And I think it does a good job at it. And
everybody I talked to about Bloodstock that played it, they all say it just goes in a blink. It's so fast.
Yeah. It was definitely a good learning experience for us. We came off the stage after we played and we were infuriated. It was probably describe it best. We thought it was absolutely terrible. Like, we were embarrassed to put our name to that show,
Yeah, the stage was awful.
Yeah, it was the stage sound that we were getting, and it was really bad. And they turned our amps down so quietly. Like, I don't think my amp has ever been played that quietly.
Like the exact opposite of what you want to do in an open air festival is turn your amp down to 1. It's a tube amp. It just doesn't sound nearly as good as it does when I'm hitting it at like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
that really pissed me off.
But the we played, and the sound we were getting from the stage was absolutely dog shit, and the monitors kept out. We couldn't really hear anything properly. So and the sound man was no help whatsoever. When we were doing our line check, he, instead of, if we asked him a question, we're like, oh, could we get this? He wouldn't do anything, and he just picked up the microphone and was like, 4 minutes 29, 4 minutes.
Fuck me.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. Lachlan had this problem with his drum kit, and like, it was really bad.
It was not good. Not what we expected.
The sound coming off the stage though was good. We've got recordings that prove that we didn't fuck it up, which is great.
It's just better than we thought, which was such a relief.
Yeah.
Anyway, the learning that we did was we learned to communicate clearly what we need.
We did though.
I don't know. I think we were a little shy about it. I for one didn't really. I definitely could have told the bass tech or whatever to, that I couldn't hear the drums, and it would have happened. It's kind of, you don't really notice because you don't get a proper sound check. You get a line check,
right?
But
you don't get the levels properly in your ears. So it would have been nice if we'd gotten a proper sound check. But apart from it's just, and by nature of letting so many people in, Simon Hall loves to let people onto the New Blood stage. And I think that's kind of to its detriment, because if he just took half as many people in, everyone would get a proper sound check. It would feel a lot less like being cattle.
Yeah.
That said, it was very, very fun off the stage, and we're very glad we did the show. It's just, in the moment, it was very stressful.
Yeah. John, what were you saying there? You were breaking up?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that, like, it's a festival. You have to just kind of pump bands out all the time, and even the big bands, they only get a line check.
Yeah. Yeah, look, again, it's a learning experience, and the main thing was the feedback from the audience out the front was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we did have fun. We're definitely very glad that we went, very thankful, very lucky that we won it. Some bands this year in the Melts and Masses, we were kind of like, damn, well, we're out, fellas. Oh well. What are we doing?
It looks great on your CV as well, lads.
Yeah.
And that's what that's one of the main things to have said that, should we play Bloodstock? And straight away people will sit up and go, wow, cool. You had the option of, I think, getting the video of it as well. Did you go down that route?
Yeah, of course. It's they have a lot of stuff to organize, so it'll probably be a month or two before we end up getting it.
Cool.
But we have paid for it, I think. So
yeah.
He did get videos because Lachlan, the Saint, brought a GoPro with him, and he put it up as a drum cam behind him. So
yeah, it was a great angle. It's really good.
We thought we all badly, and we were all really annoyed when we came off stage. A few hours later, Lachlan took out the GoPro and showed me the video, and we were both like, actually, really good.
Yeah, we were sad. And I was like, fine, we'll watch it. Might as well just see how shit it was. And then even on the GoPro, it sounded really good. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, Jesus, I was so hard on myself. I still should be. We were like, Don, look at this.
Yeah, and with Bloodstock over and done with, did you use many opportunities while you were over there to get to know other bands, maybe other promoters? Did you do a bit of, in inverted commas, networking?
No, not really. Which is something that we should have done in the hindsight.
There was intentions of it.
Okay, there's intentions.
We went in there going, man, we're going to talk to every band. I talked to the guys from Pariah who were on after us on the New Blood stage.
Okay.
And they seem to have quite a following in Sheffield and about. And we talked to Tombs a lot, that's for sure. So we're camping right next to them, but we, I don't know, there wasn't as much of a, you have your day of kind of media stuff and interviews, and we kind of didn't really get to do that much. We talked to Oren O'Byrne, and he got us 2 or 3 interviews, but
And mind you, like, we were sitting out there like waiting because Owen would come to us and say, "There's somebody going to talk to you in like 20 minutes," and he'd keep doing this. And mind you, this is at like it was like 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We were in this like artist area, and it was just so hot, and there was no shade. Like we had to stay in this one spot, or else they'd have lost us, and they wouldn't know where to find us. And that was like really, I just wanted to get out of it so badly. Yeah. I was just like having a really bad time in the heat.
And we had to leave there at 2 to get onto the stage as well. So it was just kind of poor timing, you know.
So stuff like that, this is great, like, because obviously fans wouldn't hear of these things, you know. It's just interesting to hear how a band gets on over in Bloodstock, for the first time. And, you know, as you said, media, who would have thought that the media would be painful because you're fucking standing in, 35 degrees of sunshine?
Sitting there, like, just waiting. It was really, really bad. I did not have a fun time there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you here, Richie, your questions are 10,000 times more useful for anyone listening than theirs were. Like, because no one knows who the fuck you are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Oren knows who we are. So for the Bloodstock TV thing, he asked us some kind of personal, you know, at least not, personal questions that, you know, you'd know if you knew who we were. But like stuff like the Razor's Edge, they have no idea who you are. They're just kind of asking everyone the same questions.
Yeah.
You know, hey, what's it like being a new band? I'm like, well, I don't know, I've been around like 5 years, I think it's
as the old go ahead.
Yeah, we had like with our last interview, like Oren just comes and said, "Here, this guy's going to talk to you now." And we met the guy, and he was like, "Oh, he's a very nice chap." And then he started the interview, and he's like, "I have no idea what questions to ask you. I have no template. I'm just going to go off the top of my head. We'll see what happens." And it's just okay.
That one was the most fun.
Yeah. We had to stand up for that one. So.
Okay, so finished with Bloodstock. That's great, lads. Good. You can put it down to a great experience in a few ways. You learned a lot from it as a band. You will probably bring that experience maybe to something like The Siege if you get offered it maybe next year. Would you? Is that one of your major goals now at this stage to get on The Siege?
We've never really thought about The Siege. Like we've had the opportunity to play, well, not the opportunity, but we've had 6 or so Sieges that we could have asked to play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you get asked or if you ask, but we haven't been asked, so I assume it's you have to ask.
You can have a chat with Tombs about that, you know, they'll put you straight.
Yeah. Email right away. The second this Siege is over, we're getting on to the next one. There's no way we're not going to be in the next one.
Yeah.
Has to happen.
We've been not like paying attention to Siege for too long. Like,
yeah,
Siege is happening. Oh, they've already announced all the bands. Oh, we're so silly. You know, we didn't ask anything.
Let's do that. And then no one does it, and then we go, oh, next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's because it's twice yearly. We kind of, you know, we're like, sure, the next one's ages away, and then when the one that's happening now gets announced, they've already got the ones for the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a release out now called The Ferryman and the Lockkeeper. I'm going to play a song off it, and we'll maybe talk about the songwriting involved in it and the interpretation as well. What inspired you with this? So this is the single, The Ferryman and the Lockkeeper.
Expire.
Simply the best thing you've done yet, lads. Absolutely, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
There's a lot of effort gone into it. The production sounds amazing. The lyrics, the whole team running through it, it marries perfectly with the riffs. We might just take it, Daire, from your side. Did you write the lyrics?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So lockkeeper, life stealer, thoughts veer and become clear as bodies burn, moonlight turns the ashes to clear air, to clean air. Or innocent cargo, though the wind may far blow, realize their end in despair. Maybe just that snapshot there gives a good idea of what it's about, so you can enhance it if you want.
So, I mean, this is really, John came up with the idea for the song.
Okay.
He thought it would be, like, even the title, I think, is John's idea. So he decided it would be cool if there were a ferryman who enjoys his job, doesn't get paid much, but he loves life, and then a lockkeeper who has to let him through, and he's very sour, bitter, doesn't really like that he's enjoying life, even though he's, he has nothing. And so I rolled with that, and the story behind the song, this part that you just played there, so what if I were to turn this ferry to a pyre? That's kind of him in this sort of envious insanity, deciding to kill the ferryman and burn his boat. So that part of the song is him setting it on fire, and his cargo of people is also being burnt.
Why do I kind of get the vibe off it that it's set in medieval times? Am I completely wrong with that, or?
I think that's just the way the music's written. We kind of have this joke that we're bardcore. We've got that kind of a Monomarthy sort of.
I didn't want to say
Mastodon.
that.
No, it's Monomarth would have definitely been our main influence of Mr. Merc, but we're kind of a little bit past that now. But
yeah.
We still have the sort of weird modal setup. Yeah. We definitely like to have a sort of timeless idea to it, especially, our album art here.
Yeah.
It looks very primitive and very cave painting-y almost, and we like to have that. And even our logo, it looks like it's etched in stone.
Yeah. Charlie, maybe you might talk to us about the riffs, right, running through this.
Well, I mean, the way like me and John tend to write music is John, he writes the bulk of the music, but he comes to me and he says, learn this, and I say, okay, and then I come back and I'm like, you need to change this, or I think this sounds better, and then he's like, oh yeah, that's amazing. So like, for Ferryman and the Lockkeeper, John wrote most of the music, and there's just a few parts that are just like, oh, you need to do this way instead, and be like, oh, that sounds much heavier, oh, that sounds better, or whatever. So mainly my job is to keep up with them.
That solo that you heard is Charlie's composition. That nice.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot, and usually not very good, because I'm not very good at soloing. I do it slowly, and yeah.
And it's not, was it always going to be, I know it's like whatever, 8.5 minutes long. Was there maybe 2 or 3 song ideas thrown into that mix, John, to make the one song, or is it just?
No, it's just out. I just wrote the riffs, and I was like, oh, and then we're gonna do a riff like this, and I wrote the riff, and then I was like, oh, and then we're gonna do a riff like this. I kept going. There's 1 or 2 times in the songwriting process where I've been told, no, there's too many widdly fiddly bits.
Yeah,
I do that.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, because John sort of just writes a song in a row.
Okay.
So, like he starts the song and then he finishes the song, and whatever, like, you'll be listening to it on this tiny amp through his phone mic. And like half of the song will just be like, that.
Yeah.
He's not playing any chords in the demo version of that. He's just sort of, he plays the melody, and while he's playing the melody, there's nothing else playing. So it's kind of Charlie's job to contextualize that.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of.
I'm a melody man.
John's absolutely a melody man.
I call it a musical disability, but when it comes to music and songs, so the only thing that matters when I hear something, the only thing that actually registers in my brain is this a good melody, and like, does it sound good? So when I listen to a song and people are like, oh, this is amazing, I'm like, is it? Oh, the lyrics are so good. I'm like, okay, there we go. Yeah, no, I don't know the lyrics to any songs. Some of the songs, like my favorites.
John, you don't have to, man. Trust me, you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's not your job.
One exception being ours.
This is amazing, beautiful poetry, but I'm just like, I hear the words and then they just in one ear out the other, and I can't process it. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Note that John does the backing vocals in this song.
It's just good to say who does the backing vocals.
And me and John.
Yeah, Charlie also does.
This was
but Daire writes our words for us. Daire is very
Daire
much
does a good job, yeah. And Daire, you did a great job actually vocally on this. It's fascinating to hear the way, again, how your voice went over the melody, and then for the hard parts as well, the heavy parts.
Yeah. What's funny actually about this song is, at the start there's this kind of monologue.
Yes. Sets the tone.
It does. It sets the tone. But the way this happened was we had a little intro thing for it in the drum shack that we record in, or that we practice in, rather. And Charlie started saying, "Have you seen The Lighthouse?" The film.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Charlie started reciting this.
Sea curse.
The sea curse, yeah.
The sea curse.
And we actually did this live for our show where we supported Beast in the Grand Social. Charlie said it in his best Willem Dafoe voice. And I figured, well, we can't steal that, so I have to write something new for it. And I even did the same voice that Charlie does. Bursting ye!
That is so cool, that The Lighthouse. Like, because I mean, it divides opinion, that movie, But wow, so it inspired the start to the Ferryman. Okay, I want to play one more song actually, which is a clip off "Stranger to the Sea."
please.
Okay.
My brother, he now lies in flame. His body scorched, my body lame. 'Neath the surface he lay charred and still. For I left and left him tidings ill. For I left and left him tidings ill.
I'm so glad you put that song in, lads, because I mean it's so relevant to Whispers Among the Trees, and it'll actually send people back to that whole, I suppose, time when you were trying to get music out and dealing with an unknown future for a lot of bands. So it's a nice link between the two, and of course the Sean-nós side of it as well really brings forth the Irishness as well, and you're to be commended doing that, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, John.
No, John, you say it. I wasn't talking too much.
We like the idea of pairing up our music, our heavy music, with a much softer kind of anybody easy listening, and because we really like that stuff. We really like just really peaceful ambient music, and it's just nice to diversify.
Yes.
But it was very lately decided. I was just kind of one night like, do you know what we should do? Instead of just releasing the one song, we should record another song to go with it, and it should be acoustic, and we should do like some nice stuff. And but is it too late to do this? And then Daire and Charlie were like, I don't know. And we're like, we'll try to do this on Sunday, and we'll figure it out. And we recorded it all.
Not all of it.
And it was good fun, because we normally the way we write, we like the song is written and we just kind of go off that. But for this song, for A Stranger to the Sea, there was one part, the main guitar bit, the do 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 do. That was the only bit that was actually written, and we were just making everything else up on the spot.
Wow, there you go. I love that. I love hearing that.
It was very fun.
It was, and it turned out so well.
Yeah.
That song is getting, like, from what I'm hearing, the people are like, wow, this song is so sad. One of my friends texted me and he was like, this song is like, how could I put it? It's like the happiest way you could say goodbye to somebody. And it's like, oh, Sean.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the video I had up there is Charlie's friend Sean. Where is it? That's him listening to the song.
Brilliant. I love the background. Look at that.
Yeah.
What about the Shannon start to it? How did you figure that one out?
That was me. Hi. We tried to get it so that Charlie and John were singing along with me, but they're not used to singing, so the pitching was really off. You know, with not with Shannos, but with strictly vocal music, it helps to have accurate pitching. So I ended up having to do that. I actually recorded that part in my living room the day we sent it off to DistroKid.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no way. So you mentioned that Ferryman is very well produced. We sent that off to Saku Moilanen in Deep Noise Studios, who did Wolfheart. Try to show him the shirt.
Okay.
Did Wolfheart's albums, and we were like, you know what, we want to sound like that, so now we do. But
he's a Finnish. Is he Finnish? Is he?
He's from Finland.
Yeah,
he's amazing. Really great.
Red Moon Architect. Is that one of his projects?
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of them.
He's really good and really nice. When I first got onto him to ask him about this, the reply that I got was so blunt and like straight to the point. I was kind of like, he's won me over with the classic Finnish. But as we got to know him a bit more, he's such a nice guy, and we really like working with him, and we could not recommend him more to anybody. He's actually was saying to us that he's kind of not so much looking to record bands in the studio. He's more just moving on to mixing and mastering.
Okay.
So if anybody's looking, there you go.
He did a great job with our mixing and mastering. We of course recorded it in Track Mix Studio with Michael.
Big shout out there. I mean, you can hear the whole production of it is just absolutely crisp.
Yeah, like it was sounding very good when we came out of Track Mix. But the Saku really pushed it over the edge there. That was great.
Yeah, that's class. Like, so
I'm gonna toot my own horn here and say I played the mandolin and viola on that. So anyone who wants poorly played mandolin or viola tracks, hit me up.
Did we say that, Daire, that you're the new bassist in the band? I'm not sure if we did or not.
Okay, we said it before. I don't think we said it during the recording.
Daire is the new bassist, and he's the best bassist we've ever had.
Sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ned too.
Yeah, and so with this release, obviously that's going to probably stay around for what, maybe a month with people playing it, and hopefully you have you got plans maybe to release some other stuff, or what's?
Well, in the same session we recorded. Oh, sorry, Charlie, you can talk.
When we went into Track Mix, we recorded 2 songs which we intended to be as singles.
Okay.
So one we were going to release first, and the next one, I'm not sure when it'll come out, maybe in a month or 2, it's called Assembling Trees. It's really, really good.
Okay.
It's excellent, actually. So people have that to look forward to.
Yeah, it's heavier than Ferryman.
It's heavier than Ferryman, yeah. And it also has a little song, and it's like extremely. It's nothing like Stranger to the Sea. There's like no acoustic guitars or anything. When Assembling Trees, the single ends, it's like straight into this like tribal ritual music, and I think people find it very interesting.
This is a sneak peek of. I'm not sure if this is going to show up. It's not. That's fine. I was going to show you the art for Assembling Trees, but
send it on to me later. I look forward to it. I'm glad you brought that up, because let's talk about the artwork. You do have a distinctive style. Is one of you the artist, or have you got somebody else doing it for you?
Connections.
No, so my girlfriend had a room in her house that she was renting out to a student, and his name was Giga. He's from Slovenia, and he was in NCAD, I think it was, or was it NCAD?
NCAD, yeah.
NCAD, yeah. And I just kind of got to know him from being at the house all the time, and so is he. An amazing guy, love him, but he's extremely good at art, and we kind of just tell him roughly what we want, and he does it, and then we might have like 1 or 2 things we're like, oh, how about this? Could we have this? And he's like, okay, sure. And then the next review he sends us is like, oh my god, this is amazing. And he's
class.
You did the artwork for From Across the Moors. That was the first one he did for us, and it's like actually done on like a 1 by 1 meter like canvas.
No.
Like actual painting. It's huge and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we've a picture on Instagram there of John shaking Giga's hand, holding this huge Headless Horseman Dulan fella.
Yeah, the Assembling Trees one I think is a similar story. I think it's just that big, and it's so cool. I can't wait to release that song. So everybody listening to this, watch this space. What?
Are you sure you do? There's a career for you in this, John, if you want, man. Take over the podcast.
Okay.
With these cheesy sayings, you know.
I was incredibly uncomfortable before coming on this. I'm really bad at this stuff.
Nah, man, you're doing a great job. I would love to see that on a t-shirt. Is that something that fans of your band can look forward to?
We've recently got into the t-shirt game.
Yeah,
John can talk about it if you want to.
We said to Giga that for at least one of these covers, we kind of want something we can put on a t-shirt, so simple, like black and white. And then he started doing this on his computer, and he put the things, and through the review process, it was kind of like, oh, this looks amazing. It's really like primitive almost, and with the black and white, it works really well. But can we have just the fire in red? And the way he framed it as well is it's all specifically designed for a t-shirt that we will bring out.
Great news.
I want one of those t-shirts, so
yeah, same.
We need to get people to buy the first t-shirts first, the crawl design ones.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's
we can pay for the next ones, but
yeah, and that's the way to look at it. Daire, you're spot on. You have one confirmed gig that I know of, which is Crypto the Riff, so I will be seeing you at that. I'm going to that. But have you got some other shows that are coming up before this?
Yeah, there's a charity gig in Cavan that Rory Praetorian from Eternal Hellcracks is doing.
Okay.
We don't really know much about it, but it's on the 29th of October.
Right.
And it's in, is it McGinnity's? Is that what McGinty's? Yeah. McGinnity's. In Cavan, and that should be fun. It's a very strange venue for a metal gig, but
very strange.
He said they're gagging for it out there. So
we have another one in December in Fibbers. I think it's on the 2nd. I can't exactly remember the day right now, but the guy's a guy called Robbie Brady. He's a guy he's a good friend of my brother's, and both of my brothers were like were big into the music, and like my oldest brother's in a band called the Pacifics, and the other one was called Little Green Cars. So like they have like these connections and stuff that they can just like ask, and they're like, oh, I know somebody for that. And Robbie was the guy, somebody that my brother Nick knows, who like got us our first gig and got us a few gigs after that. And I asked him, just like when we came back from Bloodstock, he said, yeah, I have a date for you. Tombs are going to come down and play that. True Home are going to play that. And we love playing for Robbie because he always pays us, and all the others as well, which is like actually one of the most important things that you can do as a band. Yeah. That is extremely annoying to get around to doing, is getting paid. Like,
yeah. And especially with, I mean, transport costs now as well, it's crazy. So if you even got your petrol paid for, you know, something like.
Exactly. Getting paid is even more important than the music as a band, I think.
I don't know about that, Daire.
You make more music and release more music if you don't like get any money for doing anything, you know.
Dead men tell no tales, write no songs.
Look, I think again, like a lot of bands like yourselves as well, are hamstrung because we live in an island, so we've only got a few places that we can play, and again, it's very frustrating. I think we've hit saturation point at this stage with crowds as well going to gigs, so it's difficult enough to get a gig that will sell out and get paid, as you were saying.
You're saying saturation point. Oh, no, John, say it.
Go ahead, go on there.
It's just a tangent here. I listened to a few Metal Cell podcasts, and you saying saturation point reminded me of, you had Jake from Elder Druid on, and correct, he said that he went up to True Home saying, you guys don't know who I am, but and what's funny is that Charlie as Fornoth has been like, hey Jake, do you want to gig with us? Do you want to gig with us? Do you want to gig with us? For like a year previous to that.
So, that'd be a perfect lineup, yeah. I'm sure that's coming up anyway.
We wanted to get a gig with Elder Druid at some point. Like John was saying, we wanted to get down to Cork, and we have a... Will I tell them, or will we keep it a secret?
No, we'll say it. We'll say it.
Okay, we're planning on doing this 4 provinces tour.
Okay.
Nominally, where we get a band from each of the provinces. We'd be Leinster, I guess, or maybe I don't know. Would we have a different Leinster band?
You're definitely Leinster, lads. Bog metal from Leinster. Let's start with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd have one band from each county and sort of do a big gig in each.
Great idea.
Do Sally Longs, do Dolans, do Voodoo, and kind of just have each band headline their respective county, and have the same 4 bands playing, and we thought that would be an excellent thing. And we weren't sure if we wanted to get Elder Druid or Now Haint. Now we've heard them play; they're very good too, and sure we'll figure it out. But
that's in the pipeline.
It's exciting stuff. We're very, very John's stoked about the idea. He thought of it and he was like, "That's class."
Yeah. Terrible at organizing things, so this is one thing that we're like, we put this off too long. We have to, we're organizing it now, probably just so it's set in stone.
Well, it's set in stone now because it's on the podcast, so
yeah, we can't not deliver.
You can't not do it now.
Yeah,
we're gonna look terrible when it doesn't happen.
Oh, brilliant. So lads, I'm going to leave you go. Again, for everybody that's listening and watching, the Ferryman and the Lockkeepers out on Bandcamp, and Stranger to the Sea is with it. Definitely pay their Bandcamp a visit and check out the merch that's there. Buy some, support the band, and lads, thanks again for coming on the show, Daire, Charlie and John.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Richie.
Okay. What's that, John?
And don't forget about Lachlan.
Oh yeah, Lachlan was here for a
Lachlan was here. Yeah, he definitely was. And so, crucially, that's all. I keep saying it, support your local metal scene. Without that, we won't have bands like Fornoth. Okay. Thanks, lads.
Sick.